Welcome to Daniel Reviews. I'm Daniel Goodwin. Today we're talking about 3D printing, or more specifically, functional 3D printing. Over a year ago, I got a Bambu Labs P1S 3D printer with the AMS, and I've been printing almost every single day with it since, and I still love it. It's the best printer I've ever used, and quite frankly, I don't really want to try another one because this one works so well, which is what I was looking for. That said, you may find that if you're getting into 3D printing or have been into 3D printing, there is a lot of things you can print. Not everything makes sense to print, but there's no shortage of ideas. So in this segment, I want to talk about functional printing versus cosmetic printing. I don't know what you'd call it. For example, this little guy, lots of fun to print. This is the Atlas from the MechWarrior series, if you're not familiar. I mean, just totally awesome to print, but not real functional. Like, it's a neat little thing to put on a shelf or something, but it's not, something I can use every day. So that's what I mean by functional 3D printing, is something that I can use, maybe not every day, but something that I can use regularly, whereas in this is just a display piece. With that in mind, I'm going to run through 6 different functional prints that I have really benefited from since I've had my 3D printer, and share them with you. I'll try to have the links below. They all come from Maker World, which is Bambu Labs' online site. However, many of the designs came first from Thingiverse, which is another massive online 3D repository, and you can probably find other designs elsewhere. But I'll go through these real quickly and explain why I like each of them. First up is a battery mount. Now this in particular, if you can make it out, is for the Ego batteries. However, you can get this for DeWalt, Milwaukee, Makita, Ryobi, Rigid, all the battery manufacturers. But essentially, you can just attach this to the wall and then slide on your battery, and it holds it there. It's a nice organizational tool. I use this for all my Makita tools, and now I've printed off some for my Ego batteries. It is a very useful functional print and very easy to print, and works really well. Just to show you how this one particularly slides on just like that. So if you had this attached to the wall, then you could just pull it on and off just like that. Next up is a drip prevention device, whatever, for your paint. You can see I've actually used this. There's paint stained on it, but this just slides over a bucket of paint. I don't know if I have one here. Maybe this one. Like this. It goes on the top, sits right in there. I can't put it on because the lid's on, but it snaps right in pretty well, and then it allows you to pour without having too much running down the edge. Now, this bucket, you can tell I did not use this drip edge with, but honestly, it does a really good job. You can see it never got, well, hopefully focus here. It never got over this part, so it kept the can really, really clean. This is great. One caveat is that not all gallons of paint are the same size, apparently, same diameter, so you may have to experiment with your sizing by 1 or 2%. I printed this in PETG to give it a little more flex. That's not necessary. You don't have to do that, but I did find that that was useful and made it a little more adaptable than like PLA. Number 3 is my own design. Not that I'm trying to show my own things, but I wanted to design a light switch cover that looked like those decorative things, and you can basically just give this as a facelift to a really old, ugly electrical outlet. So this is pretty basic. On the back side, it's got like a little bit of a shelf to sit in there on the old electrical outlets. And then, of course, you screw it in, and it just kind of covers up and makes that whole light switch or outlet look a lot better. For example, here's a very old, ugly outlet that you probably have seen something like that before. Well, if we want to just put a little nicer face on this, you can just slide this on. I need a screwdriver to really get this in there good, but I'll just do it by hand for the moment. and you can see it looks a ton better, and certainly will once I tighten it up. Next up, we have a shelf bracket. These have come in handy for me in lots of places. So this particular one is a honeycomb pattern, which gives it a lot of strength in the those directions. And I really like this design because it's lightweight but pretty sturdy, compact, and it does a good job. I've used these all over my house, so I will never have to buy a shelving bracket again. I can just print my own, and I love that. Here's just one of the shelving brackets in place. Here I've got, again, all over my house, but it really provides pretty sturdy support, and of course you can print as many as you need. Next up, I'll admit I have not used these yet, but this would help you put together a cabinet. And essentially what you would do is you'd slide in the wood from each side so that you get these kind of perfect corners is what it'll allow you to do. You can screw in from these holes or these holes. Of course, you would glue it together first and then, of course, adjust from there. But you can print as many of these as you need. Work them out together, of course, to make a cabinet of whatever size you want. So I would find this to be very useful. Unfortunately, I wish I had got a chance to use them, but I have not yet. And the last functional print, at least for this video, are these really ingenious, I call them chip clips, but they could be clothespins, they could be whatever you need them for. But they are so fun, and you can print them in whatever size you need. And I have a massive one here. Try to use this one to demonstrate. So it's really just two pieces. There's three pieces in total. You have this piece and this piece, which is kind of like the body or the structure of the pin. And then you have a spring inside. Now the spring, this is important. You want to print this in PETG, something with a little bit of flexibility that'll spring back into shape. If you print this in PLA, it will work like the first 3 or 4 times that you squeeze on it, and then you'll notice it gradually stops returning to closed. But if you do it in PETG, then they will come back every single time. I've printed so many of these. You can do them in different colors. It's super fun, and they're great as, like I said, chip clips or anything that you need to clamp onto. You know. You can probably think of your own use cases better than me. I mostly use them as clips for our mini bags of potato chips, Tostitos, etc. Okay, that'll probably do it for this video. Like I said, it was just some prints that I've come across and have used multiple times now. Love them. Hopefully they may be useful to you. If not, I'd love to hear from you on what are some great functional prints that you use on a regular basis, something in your house, something to make your life easier. Please share those in the comments below because I'd love to check them out myself. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.